Hi everybody, I'm Jack. This is Raw Tropical Living. Thanks for joining me today. Nice day here. We just finished a rain and the rain chased the workers off for the day, so I have the house to myself fairly early. So I thought it'd be a good time to sit down and do a video because I'm going to get really kind of busy over the next few days. In fact, I'm getting a little bit ahead on my videos. Tomorrow I'm going back into the city to meet a friend that's here in Costa Rica. Hang out with her for a while, and then boom, the next day will be Friday, and tick tock. So I'm kind of trying to get ahead a little bit. I'm trying to shoot like a couple of videos a day, especially for my travel day and for the end of it. So anyhow, wanted to talk about raw vegan weight gain today and why you should look to the obvious first. I do videos every day, so if you're not already subscribed to the channel, I'd appreciate it if you would hit that subscribe button now, click on the little bell, and check send notifications so you'll stay subscribed to the channel. Weight gain. You don't hear this subject very much because a lot of people, well, it's kind of like this. If you're really eating like, clean, low fat, all raw, or very high raw, no oil, no salt, it's very hard to gain weight, but it's possible. It's possible, and today I wanted to talk about a few of the reasons why. Now, the second part of that title, what does that mean? Look to the obvious first. Isn't that obvious? No pun intended. Well, no, it's not all that obvious. Let me just say it in the gentlest way possible. A lot of our raw vegan brethren like to throw out the most complicated possibilities you can imagine. That's why anytime I have anything going on with my body, I don't go to a group and just throw it out there like, hey, this is going on, because they want to go to this kind of esoteric, really complicated, like you hear, like when, and once, before I even start talking about some of the things they always go to first, please pay attention. Man, I'm really learning reading comprehension and listening comprehension. Isn't that good? I saw that with something I posted this morning with the reading comprehension part. So I'm not saying any of these are not possibilities, but don't go there first. Don't look for something, some little deep, complicated thing, just because, I don't know, sometimes people, I guess they're deeper into raw vegan if they have some complicated stuff going on. So what are you normally going to hear? I mean, like I say, I've heard so many different things, and like for me, different things like, oh, you're not absorbing your food, oh, it's detox. You have all these like things that are thrown out there. Those are other different things. That's not really pertaining to the weight, but and like I say, they all exist, but let's look for the obvious first. Let's work our way, let's eliminate the most obvious, and then we can see if it's maybe some of those more complicated things, such as, what is it always? I can't lose weight because I have a sluggish metabolism. Thyroid. Now, certain people do deal with thyroid, but a lot of people kind of like guess and self-diagnose, like, well, I think it's my thyroid. Metabolic damage. I mean, that one is not as trendy, that phrase anymore, but there was a while there, all you heard was metabolic damage. Once again, for the ones with not so good listening comprehension, I'm not saying metabolic damage does not exist. Not quite sure my thoughts on all of it, but I'm not saying it doesn't exist. I'm just saying don't go there first. Or just whatever, adrenals. There's another one. That's another one that's thrown out for everything. I've back before I started my practice of not like really asking for information or throwing things out there just in general, I forgot how many different things you got answered adrenals to. Or just any other various weird, strange body alchemy that it's like some, you have to, your body's going to go through all this process and you're going to have to gain weight, or it's going to take a while before you lose it. Like I say, once again, it's all possible. But let's look to the obvious reasons first. And most of the time, it's just simply you're consuming more calories than you can burn, more calories than you can need, more calories than meet your activity needs in your body. You're eating too much fat, too many calories, too much fat. You're not moving your body. Even if you're eating a less amount and you're getting the right amount for your body, our bodies are like a furnace. They need to kind of keep burning, and when they're constantly moving, that keeps that metabolism going, and it tends to burn more. You burn your fuel more efficiently when you move your body than you do when you even eat an adequate amount or the right amount for a person that's sedentary. Eating high calorie dense foods, like some of the smoothies I see people make. Usually when they're just making fruit in there, no, but when they're making fruit and they add tons of dates in there, or I don't know if people are doing this thing anymore with the Daterade, where people would have something like, sometimes I'd see people put 10, 15, 20 dates into a smoothie. Well, that's a lot of calories right there, and that adds up. And if you're doing that on a regular basis, or if you're scarfing down the dates are good. I love dates, but dates have calories. They're little sugar bombs. So if you were just absolutely scarfing down dates on a regular basis, and you're generally eating, you're probably, that's almost kind of like bonus. You're probably eating enough calories in other areas. There can be the weight gain there too. Like, weight gain doesn't have to come, it doesn't have to be something drastic, horrible that you're doing every day. It can be, like I say, if it's the dates or whatever it is, it can just be as little as consuming 400 or 500 calories too much for your body every day, or consuming 200 or 300 calories too much for your body every day over a long period of time. But look to the obvious first. Nuts. Are you scarfing down nuts? Nuts have a lot of calories in them, even though I guess I don't pay attention and I don't look at stuff and I don't know exact numbers on stuff that don't really affect me. I don't eat a ton of nuts. I just generally know that's just not that great of a thing. But for something recently, I was either writing something or I was doing a video and I looked up calories in nuts, and there are a lot of calories in nuts, and you can scarf down, and you can easily eat 300, 400, 500 calories or more in a sitting and just be like, wow, what happened there? The nut butters. I remember a few videos, they just popped into my head that Tanny does, talking about that, about not going to the couch and with the spoon and just eating that nut butter. That nut butter is good stuff. It's better than the commercial stuff, but it needs to be used sparingly. It's not something that's part of all day, every day. Try to limit that use on that a little bit. It's probably going to be the obvious. And let me go back. Maybe there's one person out there that kind of figured he's going to talk about this eventually. Now, how are you going to figure this stuff out? How are you going to troubleshoot? You keep your food journal that I'm always talking about. You keep your food journal, especially in the beginning. As beginners, keep a food journal. If you're struggling, take a step back. If you're struggling and you've never kept a food journal, keep a food journal. Might have been in the video from yesterday or just within the last few days that I was talking about that. It's almost annoying that people ask for questions that's weight related or stuff like that, and they can't give exact. They can't say, okay, this is what I eat. Boom, 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 boom. If you have a food journal, then most of the time, you probably don't even have to go for outside help or anything else. You could probably look at your food journal and figure that out. But there it is, right in front of you, in black and white. And then if you're writing down in that food journal and you're gaining weight, and you go back and you look at 3 weeks of, your food journal there, and you're like, yeah, I'm averaging about 8 or 10 dates a day, or I'm eating, wow, I didn't realize that. I ate this many nuts over the period of 3 weeks, and then look up the calories, and it's like, whoa, that's a lot. That's a lot. So, like I say, it's just mainly it could be any of these number of things, but eliminate the obvious first, and then you can move on. Like I say, I don't want anybody getting all upset that this, and somebody will tell me, oh, well, I've been diagnosed with thyroid. I'm sure you have, and I believe you, because people do have issues with their thyroids that prevent them from dropping the weight. Hormonal issues. Now, when it gets into women's stuff, I don't know that much about that kind of stuff. I'm an old man. But, as women age, there's hormonal issues. I was reading something online, and it was a woman just about my age with some sort of issue. and they were talking about her hormones, because this is I guess an age where that can affect. So hormones can prevent somebody from losing weight. Adrenal problems, metabolic damage. I do believe to an extent metabolic damage exists. I just think it's well, I don't know if I'd use the word diagnose, because nobody's going to a doctor, but self-diagnose. So many people like to state that they have metabolic damage. How do you know you have metabolic damage? Just because you restricted? No. Let me tell you something. While I never support or encourage restricting your food, I restricted coming into this, and my weight just plummeted. Tomorrow I could restrict myself and disappear to a skeleton. So your mileage may vary on that one too. So don't let people get it into your head that if you've restricted in the past, even if you've restricted over a good period of time, that all of a sudden your metabolism stops and it's damaged, and it takes some great effort to get it up and going again. I mean, I've gone for long periods of restricting back before I knew better, but I still dropped weight, and I could do it today. So, like I say, I'm kind of just reinforcing the point there, but to finish up, just look for the obvious first. See if you're eating too many calories. How much fat do you have in there? Sodium, you can hang on to water weight with that. Look at those obvious issues. If you look at all those obvious issues, if you keep a food journal and you're like, yeah, I just really can't figure that out, and then maybe you even ask somebody for a little bit of help and they're telling you, yeah, I can't figure that out, that's when you start looking for the other stuff. Then you start saying, okay, do I have any other issues that might lead me to believe that I have a thyroid condition, or any of the other nut things? But yep, look to that obvious first. I hope this video was a little bit helpful for you. If you like it, please give me a thumbs up, and I will see you again tomorrow. Peace.